Gonna get this show started. Let's get this show started.
I said this one's for you. I said this one's for you. I said this one's for you. I said this one's for you.
Let me start at the beginning. Way before the ratchetness, before they raped our women. Way black in the time a woman can't come from a man, so she birthed mankind. Through that holy yoni in between her legs divine. You can see it from this angle with the Eurocentric mind. You've been trained well, so your future is behind. Take a look around, girl, the truth ain't hard to find. See that white standard of beauty got you bleaching your mind. For 400 years they said you was ugly, but you're fine. Shit, more than fine, got a beauty they can't match even. Brains too strong and wise like Queen Sheba. Most can't deal with your strength, that's why they still beat ya. Took you out the Holy Trinity, but still need ya. Back to black consciousness is where I'm trying to see ya. I'm a Tsar, you're a set, on the throne is where I keep ya. Black woman. Most of us think your position is minuscule. Cook, clean, serve, all you was put here to do. Not realizing these qualities were put into you. Cause your leadership skills are natural. Don't believe me, Queen Nzinga led the war against them crackers, fool. My people sleep, so I teach, that's what a master do. Grew up with visions of chauvinistic theatricals. Now it's my mission to grab the culture and get back to you. So we can show the seeds what it is they have to do. Break the chains, runaway slave, they coming after you. Keep the men and women at odds and take the child too. Make sure she had more than one baby daddy, you gotta do. 400 years later, no savior, they really lynched you. So take a listen, black woman, let me heal you. Any man that breaks you down really cares you. My elder Shabaka say what the women do, the men do. So when you start the revolution, we right here with you. Some swear the black woman ain't shit. I say this queen is everything, even the ratchets. You just forgot who you are. I'ma help you remember. You're the mother of civilization. From the light-skinned hue to those darker than blue. Black woman, I never turn my back on you. You're beautiful without that perm. You're a queen without that weave. Love yourself, cause sister, I love you. Respect yourself, cause sister, I respect you. Apologies to those I disrespected before my mind was free. Let's take it back to go forward like Sankofa. Ride with me. She was here when we was kings, chilling on the throne. Proper placement up. Most respected, her needs never neglected, embracing her higher consciousness, the true essence, the procreator. From her I got my best blessing. My life she manifested, I'm forever indebted to her collection. Can't objectify her, she's more than breast and flesh skin. Think not, then you need correction of your perception. I'm talking about the first wonder of the world's possessions. Here for more than cooking and cleaning. Without her, man wouldn't truly experience being. Don't doubt her goddess ability of honing fertility. Just love her and preserve her identity. The black woman, when I see her, something gets into me. Beautiful inspiration like a pyramid. Amazing, brings out the best of me on occasion. They made her forget who she was, that's why I made this. Next time you're riding with your daughter, brother, play this.
Alright, family, we are streaming live on YouTube, Periscope, Stream.me, and Facebook. Family, it is good to see you. Shouts out to Brother Quasi. I see you out there with the watch party, so I don't want to disappoint. Family, what we gonna do? We are going to get into the Proverbs. There's some people out there going throw up your name and your city, or just, post up, and I'll see you, and I'll send out some shots. But I want to thank everybody that's taking the time to spend some time with us. Lines are open, 614-556-4535. Once again, lines are open at 614-556-4535. Don't be shy with your wisdom. You never know who might benefit from what you have to say, from what you have to share, from your experiences. So we're going to break down these proverbs. We're going to have this discussion. Family, we're going to build. I got a few announcements for you. We don't have warrior training this weekend, but we will be having it next weekend. On February 23rd, we'll be having our first Gye-Nyame Journey mall, our market, the first step to us trying to establish a place of commerce, a space of commerce once a month. I know it's because there's a few of them that happen around the city, but we're going to try to take claim of the last, not even try, we're going to take claim of the last Kuumba of the month and try to have one every Kuumba of the month as long as we have space to, and is able to do it. We got room for vendors. You could, like I said, family, I would love to get 100 vendors up in there, and if we can, we will get you in. Space is only $20. If you're vending food, it's going to be $30. It'll be at 3500 Refugee Road, also known as the Mighty Millennium Community School. Family, come on out and join us. You know what I'm saying? Because, one is a fundraiser because we got to feed our young people when they come out, or feed the family when they come out for our warrior training, as well as getting our camping equipment back up to par and a whole bunch of stuff. So, I want to thank everybody that's been taking the time to keep up with us. First off, family, I want to welcome you to the Congregation of the Mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Of course, this is Tribal Quotes, and this is a Heart of a Simmer production, where we strive to blow up your old paradigm. So without any further ado, let me check out the watch party, because I've never been part of a watch party. Shouts out to everybody at the watch party. Shouts out once again to Quasi Low for keeping it popping over there. Oh my God, he calling people in. I love it, man. Come on, brother, we building. So now here we go. Let's jump into these proverbs. So we're coming from the Gye-Nyame Journey workbook, Tribal Quotes. I compiled this book after years and years of working with proverbs, especially from the African Openness to the Tree of Life. But I went through a period where I was just collecting them and putting them together every day. You know what I'm saying? Put them together every day, and I would put them together in groups of 3. and start my discussions with the young people that I was working with at the time. And, and it had a positive effect on them. At first it was called "What the Hell?" You know what I'm saying? Because that was one of the first expressions when I sat out in one of my groups and I would throw it up on the board and they looked at it and was like, "What the hell is this?" I said, I'm trying to see what, we trying to pull on some wisdom. We need to grab some advice from some of the people in the past and that been through what we've been through, that's been through what we're going through right now, and see if we can use that wisdom to help move us forward. Somebody just called on the line. Who is this? Who is blessing us on Gye-Nyame Journey? Maybe they can't hear.
I was talking to myself. You know I'll be on mute.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's Quasi. Everybody that ain't know.
Right. You hosting a watch party and you on the line, man. Go ahead. All right, here we go.
I'm just trying this whole watch party thing out. I'm kind of curious if it's still working because I had to exit out of Facebook to get on the watch party because
I'll tell you if it's still working. Hold on, I'll go back and check. Because we're trying to.
Somebody comment if it's watching Tisha. I see you was on there. If you're still on there, send me a shout out if the watch party is still working.
Yeah, it's still working. I'm looking at it right now. Yep, it's still working. So
I don't trust it. Damn, I got a lot of folks showing love.
Right.
See Rachel on, Maria on.
Oh man, this is how we grow. All right, so I'm gonna read the Proverbs, and then I'm gonna let Quasi or somebody on your timeline. I don't know if you can still look on.
I'm looking right now.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna send out. I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna give somebody a choice between 1 and 3, and whoever throw up the number first, either on your timeline or on my chat, that'll be the one we deal with. All right. It says we on day 57 for anybody that want to get the book. You want to get the book, you go to GyeNyameJourney.com, look in the top tabs. We got tribal quotes up there. Also, I probably have some books by February for that Kuumba, so that if you want to come out and you get some, as my children say, get some merch. They watch a lot of YouTube. All right. A gem is not polished without rubbing, nor a man perfected without trials. That's a Chinese proverb. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. That's from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It just so happened this falls right in this week. Here we go. Last one. If you are careful with your enemy once, be careful with your friends 1,000 times. East Africa. So, anybody out there that might be listening that want to comment, throw up a number between 1 and 3. 1 and 3. 1, 2, or 3. Let me be clear. Type it up. And that'll be the proverb we start with. We will wait for you. And of course, if nobody else... I like
numbers.
Huh?
I like numbers.
Right. I ain't gonna let you pick this time, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna throw on minute by minute while we wait. We wait minute by minute. Here we go. Uh-oh.
Minute by minute. Minute by minute. Hour by hour.
Uh-oh. I can stop it. Sister Terahasa shouts out. She threw up the number 3. She said, "I ain't gonna keep my brother waiting."
Yes, that's the one I wanted. I put that out in the atmosphere because that one is.
Oh, Miss Regina,
timely.
Miss Cynthia was just a little bit too late. Now remember, Miss Cynthia, we gonna have the market on February 23rd. I hope that you can participate. Number 3, if you are careful with your enemy once, be careful with your friends 1,000 times. Ooh, look, I got to strike the lightning on that one because, ooh. All right. Quincy, you want to hit that one first or you want me to go first, my friend?
Man, I don't even know where to go. I don't even know where to start. I'm over here dancing for real because, I want to talk about this. I want to listen about it for real.
All right. If you are careful with your enemy once, Be careful with your friend 1,000 times. What's crazy is, family, listen, let me tell you how things line up, right? Hold on, let me see. Somebody just made a comment. I got by whatever Miss Terrasa, I go by whatever Miss Terrasa says. Okay. All right, so we're going to do that 3. So now, I was just watching this video, and there's a video that just went up, and it's 2 poets. A female poet that's very famous and that's still alive, and she was being interviewed by another poet and writer, and I think he wrote, I cannot remember for some reason, I got his picture in my head, dark-skinned brother. He was debating people back in the day. He did, he wrote a book, The Invisible Man. No, he didn't write Invisible Man. He wrote Native Son. Can anybody out there on the timeline say, Brother Hatim, and please tell me the name of this brother? He wrote Native Son, and he was interviewing, I don't want to say Nikki Giovanni, but it might have been Nikki Giovanni. The brother wrote Native Son. All right, it don't matter. Well, anyway, he was interviewing his sister, and she was a lot younger than him, I think. And they were having a discussion, and somebody had cut it to the part where they got into talking about relationships. And she was talking to him, and she said, I need the black man to lie to me. I said, what? Sister, my enemies can't get close enough to do damage. I've only been wounded by friends and family. It's James Baldwin. Yep, James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni. She said, I need the black man to lie to me. She said, you lie to your enemy all the time, and you always smiling, and you're pleasant with him, and you're able to make him think that you're all right. And she said, I need you to be able to do the same thing with me. And it's and basically what I was picking up is like, when we become comfortable with people, we start taking them for granted. You know what I'm saying? With our enemies, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we might have to, because an enemy doesn't mean that you don't see an individual. An enemy could be somebody that you work with on a regular basis. An enemy could be a boss. I mean, a lot of us work in hostile situations, and we're surrounded by enemies, and we have to put on a nice front, right? And it's like, if you can fake it, if you can do that for them, why is it that you can't do that for those that are truly in support of you? You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be nice to your enemy once, you need to be nice to your friends and family 1,000 times, because it's like our family and our friends, they take the burden of our pain. But we're able to hide that pain when we're dealing with our enemies, the people we actually should be dumping on. You know what I'm saying? But because our livelihood depends on it, we can't necessarily do that all the time. But then when we come home, everybody else gets what's left of us. So I think this proverb is trying to remind us that we need to treat those that are around us better than those enemies. And if you do a nice thing for an enemy once, those people around you in your camp, those people in your tribe, you got to do something nice for them 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of hard to remember, because, it's like, I got the release, Brother Hatim, I got the dump. But then, as Terahasa says, my enemies can't get close enough to really do damage to me. It's the people around us that can really damage us the most. It's the people that know our secrets, and the people that really know us that can actually do the most damage to us. So we have to really, really up. We got to really up the niceness count on them. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even saying be nice. It says be careful. If you are careful with your enemy once, be careful with your friends 1,000 times. So this ain't even about you faking and acting. It's about you being careful. I mean, do you need to say some of the shit that you say to those people that you love? You understand what I'm saying? Do you need to step on the people's feelings of the people that you love, that's around you? You know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about when you have to be real with them. You understand? When you have to give them some real advice that possibly could save their life. I ain't talking about in that instance. You might need to get reckless then. But in regular situations, right? When somebody makes you a dinner, You know what I'm saying? You might not even be in the mood to eat with them. You know what I'm saying? They put that care in there, and you just been at the job, and you've been smiling at motherfuckers you don't even like, and you come there and you can't put on the mask and be careful with their feelings, and they don't, you know what I'm saying? It don't even have to be nothing they cooked. It might have been they stopped at a restaurant for you. You know what I'm saying? Can you be careful with them? You know what I'm saying? Can you be careful if they take you out and treat you sometime? You know what I'm saying? And, you might not even feel like doing it, but can you be careful with that? Sister Terahasa with shouts out to Miss Regina. She says, it's James Baldwin and Nikki Giovanni. Okay. I have learned to trust energy, not people. Uh-oh. Miss Terahasa getting deep on us. Trust energy and not people. Or be careful to protect yourself from them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and really what's crazy is a lot of times some people become more protective. Well, let me stop saying we. Let me stop making it general. I have found myself being more careful and more open in dangerous situations than I am able to open up to those that are around me. And maybe it's for the very fact that those people around me possibly could do me the most damage. But even in that sense, I have to, once again, redouble my efforts and start learning how to be careful with those people around me, those people that really love me, those people that really are making sacrifices for me. You know what I'm saying? Like when we get up and we pour the libations, all those people was careful with me most of the times because some of them need to knock me out. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? I need to be careful with those energies, those people that we pour libation for. I need to be careful for the loved ones in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because they gonna be the ones that support me. My enemy, they're waiting for my downfall. So I hope I covered that one. What you think, Quasi?
It's so many angles, man. I'm sitting here where am I gonna go in, man? I don't even know which way to go in, man, because it's such a dynamic concept. Because friends are so valuable, man. Well, I think what I finally settled on is that sometimes we expect more out of our friends than we expect out of ourselves. You know, we want friends. We might not be sold on an idea or something that we want to do. We might be looking for our friends to be that final push. We might be expecting them to put more energy or more belief, or we might expect them to be that thing that pushes us over the edge to actually believing that we can do it. We ain't even necessarily so. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
That could be a lot of pressure because it could be some bullshit. That might be the reason why we ain't really feel it. But then we like, come on, man, did you believe in this business? Like, I know you got, like, you might have that friend that got a little bit more money than you. Y'all been friends since high school, and your friend came up, and you stayed where you was at, or you just doing all right, but your friend then came up. So you feel like your friend's money is your money. You know what I mean? Or you might feel like your friend's resources is your resources.
Right.
But the one thing is, like, as we all climb and as we all find ourselves in different positions, we all done found ourselves up at one time and down at another time.
Right.
And when we honest with ourselves, we know that at that point in time when we was up, we had the most to lose.
So what you're saying is be careful with yourself, and the friendships will come along.
Hold up, that boy sound familiar, man. You gotta identify yourself. Who that?
I ain't him. Come on. Who that?
It's Neff, man.
What's up? How you doing?
What's up?
What up?
Welcome to the show. But go ahead, finish what you were saying.
I'm just trying to make sure I understand what he's saying. I think what he's saying is you got to be careful with yourself first. Respect yourself. Once you have that respect on who you are and what you're trying to do, your friends if they're real friends, they automatically fall in line, right?
Ooh.
Because it's almost like that Christian mentality, like let go and let Jesus take the wheel. You ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take some responsibility on your own, and then your real friends will fall in line and support you. I mean, I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, that's such a dynamic, man. the realest shit be some of the hardest stuff to talk about sometimes because you don't like this. This is so broad. Did you hear the parable or what was I think I used to.
I'll read it again.
I heard how Tim explained it. Yeah.
All right.
Can you drop it again?
If you are careful with your enemy once, be careful with your friend 1,000 times.
Careful.
Be careful. Be careful. We got some people that just, I mean, like I said, a lot of times, like I said, you have some people that are just rough on their friends, man. And I think that's, as Terhasa said, she said, I have never been really hurt by an enemy. I have to be more careful with those close to me because they are, because they are more able to wound me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of empires fall, a lot of nations, a lot of tribes break up because of the relationship on the inside. And it's like we have to, like I said, being careful means don't necessarily mean that you're just nice and all, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just being nice. It's about being authentic with them. And enjoying their company and truly enjoying their company and appreciating them and helping build them up along with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Being careful, being careful requires skill. So being skillful in your interpersonal relationships, because if you do it with your enemy once, you need to do it with them 1,000 times. That's the least you could do. You know what I'm saying?
So you talking about Caesar and Brutus?
We can say that too. That's a good one. That's Caesar and Brutus. You know what I'm saying? Brutus, my son.
I was thinking about the dude, the movie Troy. I can't think of the name. The brothers. He wanted to snatch old girl from the kingdom, and now he didn't, because he knew that his brother was gonna ride for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Put his brother in a fucked up. Put his whole country. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't careful with his whole country. I mean, just think about that. He put his whole country at risk. You know what I'm saying? What? Terahasa says, our spirits has to ask the person, who are you? Yes, and then and Miss Cynthia say, yes, and then the false friends will fall to the wayside in the same process once you come into your true self. You have to be able to tell them you are a devil before they stab you. I hope you're talking about your enemies, because hell, if you got devils as friends, well, shit. I'm on that ambrosia. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one.
I'm on that ambrosia. That sounds like a song.
You need to, you got to keep a few devils around and shit. I'm just being honest with y'all. That's, you know what I'm saying, from a strategic point, But it's like being careful.
Sparingly. That's the thing with the devils, is you already know going in that you're going to use them sparingly. But friends, you expect your friend to ride for you 1,000 times.
1,000 times.
You know what I mean? So
but in the same token,
your friend might feel burned out.
Right. And in the same token, you have to be willing to ride for your friend too. Because I'm telling you this, in true relationships,
some feedback.
In true relationships, it's somebody's mic. In true relationships, what you start finding is that when you find somebody, how can I put it? Once again, going back to the 3 R's, relationships are built on respect, responsibility, and reciprocity. When all three of those things are active in a relationship, what you find is that there is no burnout, because you give and you receive and you receive and you give. You practicing that true respect, the true idea of respect, and not this fake shit that we got people running around here masquerading as respect. And you got that understanding that there's reciprocity. You understand what I'm saying? Respect, responsibility, and what is it? Respect, responsibility, and reciprocity. You take responsibility for the relationship. You be careful with it. You become skilled and you develop the skills that are able to maintain a relationship, because you respect it and you respect that person. And on top of that, you understand the laws of reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time what we end up in, and what I'm noticing is, because people got a skewed idea about respect. You know what I'm saying? In order to get respect, you got to give respect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at that shit and I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Do you say that shit to the football coach when you walk on the field and you trying out for the team? Or do you give your most so that you can earn your way into being on the team? And gain that respect. Coach ain't initially give you no motherfucking, well, at least they ain't do it when I was doing it. When I was doing martial arts, they ain't give you no initial respect when you walked in that motherfucking room. Shit, it was a long time before they even gave me a belt, let alone let me take a motherfucking test. What's happening now? It's some skewed shit. Now understanding reciprocity, and then the last, the most important piece, we got people who want to have so-called relationships without any responsibility. That's not a motherfucking relationship. I just want us to kick it. There's no responsibility there, so there's not a relationship. Let's just call it what it is. I give respect because of who I am, not who they are, and that's a key piece right there. You know what I'm saying? Give respect because of who you are. You know what I'm saying? It don't have nothing to do with the other person. You know what I'm saying? But our kids and a lot of our young people that I've been running into personally got this mindset that everybody is supposed to just give respect. No, it ain't. So I don't give people respect that don't give. Hold on. Then who you saying you are? You telling me more about you than you telling me about the other person. But y'all go ahead, man. Y'all can't let this old man just run the mic. Y'all better go and say something.
Now, this really is a deep, man, because I'm over here in deep thought, man. This is like really got me challenging myself, man, because I feel like just listening to this conversation, I think that it's some people that I'm kind of in debt to, that I consider friends, that I think that I've acquired in a debt, because I think it's on the flip side, it's people that I felt was burning me out on the friendship side, and I might have severed the relationship, or I might have spoke on it, or I might have just let it build up until there was some type of, disruption or some friction. And, I think it's easy to let it slip by, because that whole 1,000 times thing, 999 times might be cool, but it's that one time. And I'm reminded of the saying that once respect is lost, it's lost forever. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't know. I think maybe it's a good rule. I think in general it's probably a good rule in general. It might be special cases.
I don't believe in that shit.
Uh-oh. That's Shaka starting shit. There you go. Here you go. Yeah. It's the mad singer. Go ahead. Shaka the mad titan. Go ahead.
Let me tell you why that's bullshit.
Like what bullshit? You've been listening to me too long. You just kicked the whole fucking door down calling shit bullshit. I'm rubbing off on you, Shaka. Is that what's happening?
No, but for real, I mean, in my life right now, I'm starting to realize the cycle of relationships. See, sometimes our ego don't want to admit it, but sometimes we got blessings in our life in the form of people that we ain't ready to accept. So we block the blessing.
We block the blessing.
That don't mean that the blessing ain't gonna come back around. When we mature and we ask the right question, the universe sends us the right answer. And if that person at that time is the right answer, then also they should have given you, and I'm speaking through my experience, the whatever it takes in my own maturity to come back into the conversation and not just act like the disrespect or the disconnect didn't happen, but address it in a way to let them know that, hey, that was a different individual, those are different circumstances, and right now I see life at a higher standard than I did back then. And I see you at a higher standard, at a higher regard. And so that's when, because here's the thing, Quasi, I think that sometimes for that type of respect, that genuine respect to be received on a mutual level, you have to go through some shit. And that's what allows
you gotta go through some shit together, but there's a difference between going through some shit together and going through some shit against each other. Like y'all being the shit. One or the other y'all being the shit, as opposed to y'all both approaching some shit together and over.
Well, now, but both see it's the experience together. Regardless of whether y'all going together or you're going against each other, because I know I'm not the only one probably on this timeline who possibly made friends with somebody that I initially bumped heads with. We had some major beef, but because of a mutual respect and understanding, you know what I'm saying, between us, that developed between us after a possible fight or a possible blow up, we got a better understanding for each other. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, because with true relationships, there is no burnout. I just want to stress, I believe that. My belief is with a true relationship, there is no burnout because there's a reciprocity there. When you give in some form or fashion, there's something coming back around. But if you have to constantly give, you got to ask yourself, is this really a relationship? Because reciprocity is an important part in a relationship. This is why also being careful with your friends and understanding. See, because we don't have really clear definitions as a community. What's a friend? What's a family member? I done had people give me their last. I done had, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I done gave people my last. You know what I'm saying? I done got up and rolled. I done rolled for people. But go ahead. And they rolled for me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say this. I have a certain segment of friends that when I have issues with people, I don't even discuss it with them because they take that shit more personal than I do. And might try to fight me because I let somebody slide with some shit. And I have actually had that shit happen. What the fuck you mean he did? They did what? You still cool with? Calm down, nigga. Hold on.
Now, check this out. Now, let me. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Cut you.
You ain't cut me. I'm done. You know, shit. I'm old.
So this is the thing, though, because Quasi, how Tim and I and my relationship is a perfect example. And while I'll tell you my side of the things, if he has anything to add or to, so be it. I'm at the place where I've accepted that things is what they is, right? Now, before I moved away from Columbus, it was because of the relationships that Hatim and I had with other people that were drawn into Hatim's world, and those people who trespassed against me, right? If I would have stayed in Columbus, eventually I would have been all up in my head. Like, you know what?
You ain't about to get on no weird shit, are you, Shaka? I don't like the way this road is going, man. The last time you went down this road, we crashed into a wall.
The last time you took ownership of the narrative. Just let me say what I'm going to say.
Okay, I did it again. Forgive me. So go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say how far, but I was definitely, if I would have stayed in Columbus, I was in a state of mind where I'm like, yo, who is my true people? And then if I would have thought about it more, like, what's the conversation like about me in my absence amongst these people or this individual who felt like it's all right to trespass against me when we building a tribe, we building this thing out of the principles of loyalty, honor, and sacrifice. What part does that have to do with anything? So the fact that I did leave and the fact that I was able to develop an outside perspective while still developing myself within in a new territory and with new relationships, I realized that not every relationship is built on that. Not every relationship is, whatever was lacking in that, it doesn't necessarily have to be the case here. I had to open my mind to be able to experience new things with other people to realize that that's just how some people are, or that you know what I mean? Or sometimes it's not for them to hold account to. It wasn't for Hatim to say, no, don't rob this man's house. or don't
I
do
saw
this.
I saw somewhere where it said there's two reasons why people don't trust people, and it said one is because they know you, and the other one is because they don't know you. Or I think it's the other way around for the dramatic impact of it. So that got me to thinking just now as I was listening. It was occurring to me that friendship is kind of like, I think like everything almost. I'm thinking everything can kind of be expressed in a sort of like a continuum, like a scale, like a pH balance kind of scale. Like you got the 0 being acid or no base, right? And then 14 being aesthetic, highly aesthetic. So let's just keep them with the scale. 0, I'm thinking I'm going the right way, but base means pretty alkaline, right? That's like a healthy environment. If that's the ideal friendship, the strongest, unbreakable friendship you can have, you're going to die with this person.
Are you speaking of neutrality?
But
neutral is the 7, right? Neutral is in the middle of that scale. Ain't that how the pH scale goes from 0 to 14, and then 7 being neutral?
Yeah, about because the base is as bad as the acid. So it's just like with Mayat, there's a balance. So the perfect relationship, if we was going to use that, unless you coming from a different angle, would be possibly
I think that would
in
kind
a
of
base.
confuse my analogy a little
Okay,
bit.
cool. I'm going to leave it alone.
Because I'm thinking, because base is going to be, you don't necessarily even know the person either way. And then, but I don't know. I do see what you're saying. I guess it's a very dynamic, and a lot of times scales overlap each other. But I guess to try to simplify it as much as possible, assuming that you know the person, assuming that I don't know. I'm lost. But the enemy being one extreme end, and then the friend being another extreme end, and then closer to the center is just a complete lack of information to even make any type of evaluation. So I think friend is a big word for me. I don't call a lot of people friends, because if I call you friend, then I'm probably really willing to put myself in harm's way on your behalf. That's just my nature. So I've had to learn over the years that I have to be careful about who I call friend. And like a lot of that's the conversation we've been having. It's been a reoccurring theme is that that one of the common themes of us, how maybe even why we seem to unite and connect, is because we are the type of people that stick up for people, and maybe we found a situation where there's like-minded people. But I think at the same time, those things need to be tested. You see what I'm saying? So back to Shaka,
some shit.
As far as Shaka, I think that I don't know. I know the amount of times I've been exposed to you has been fairly limited. And I think that your experience is from a previous generation. Maybe because Hatem is obviously the common denominator in this thing. So, I think it's a new blood. So I encourage you to let that go, because at this time, at best, I could say that we don't know each other. And if anything, we are on a side of the scale to where it's a little bit of protection. It's a little bit of guards up, maybe from both ends, just because we've kind of had around the surface we could probably fluctuate maybe back and forth, but it's closer to the center, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's untested. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And see, and that's an important piece that's kind of missing in the tribe, the test. You know what I'm saying? Because our ancestors structured tests, but then also another piece that they were able to provide.
Well, hold on, Tim. We talk about the test, and this is the whole piece. Is that I don't want Quasi to feel like I'm hanging on to anything. Listen. One thing you should always know about me moving forward, Quasi, is that I never, ever bring up a problem that I haven't already situated the answer to or the solution to. So in this case scenario, what I'll say, and Hatem has heard me say this over and over again, and it's coming to fruition, that what you fail to learn at my expense, adversity will teach you at your own. And adversity is that experience we're talking about that has nothing to do with Hatem, has nothing to do with our inexperience of each other, but let alone
your experience and your development within self. And sometimes that has to do with what the world brings your way. Because the world will bring you a certain equation, and if at that time you ain't ready for that test, it's going to come back around. And so, that's why I pay attention to the processes. The processes. Not
That's
the,
right.
I don't look at the individual or independent relationships. I look at the process of relationships. All right? Because the way that you identify with trust is totally different than the way I identify with trust.
Well,
in my
now,
world, you trust when. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this.
No, finish your sentence. In your world, we identify with trust or what?
In my world, the way I identify with trust is that you trust one to be what you experience them to be. Nothing more, nothing less.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. You've got to have experiences to develop that. And the experiences I've had with you, just to keep this as an example, are extremely limited. They're not potent enough to really be able to pull anything from. Other than,
right.
and honestly, if anything, it's like, okay, maybe it's kind of friction. And I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know, And when I don't know, it's like, okay, I'm going to stick with what I do know. Or I'm going to find, because that's the other part of it is, I don't know. Again, I hesitate to want to get too personal.
Well, but hold on.
And that's what.
That's what the camping trips are for. You know what I'm saying? This what I'm saying. The testing, right? We have to as because a lot of y'all don't want to. A lot of us, we're moving into eldership. Some of y'all moving into senior nation builder phase. Some of y'all still might be in warrior phase. But we have to set up controlled environments where we are able to test one another and have these discussions on a more personal level without the whole world being able to pop in and listen to our shit. Now, because my piece is getting back to if we get back to the proverb, it says, if you are careful with your enemy once, be careful with your friend 1,000 times. First off, we got to determine the difference between a friend and an enemy. Sister Tara Hostler says, on your example, Quay, she say an 8 is about the middle. And she said, if you start burning, they are acidic. And she start laughing. She say, spiritually speaking. But still, you got to clean that shit up. I'm saying shame. And she said, no true loving. Now, this is from one of our, if Gye-Nyame got a holy book, this is one of them. No true loving is done without sacrifice, said the knowledge holders. That from the African Opens to the Tree of Life. If we want to talk about loving, there is no true loving without some form of sacrifice. And we have a lot of people around us that say they're friends. We have a lot of people around us that say they love us. We have a lot of people around, but how many of them are really willing to sacrifice to that love? Not to you, but to that love. To that love that they proclaim for you. To that love they proclaim for the people. To that love they proclaim for the tribe. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the point where we move into, because like with the small steps that we're trying to put in place, we're trying to make it possible so that we can have some authentic relationships. As long as we are totally dependent on others, it's going to be hard for us ever to have real relationships. And I don't think a lot of us understand this. As long in traditional times, people's relationships were able to be tested in all this because they really depended on each other for their basic survival. But when you look at a majority of us right now in America, I can't speak for any place else, but in America, a majority of our survival depends on others, people outside of what we call our tribe. And until we really get to a point where we could do that, because I'm gonna say this. One of the things, as far as one of the reasons we send Gye-Nyame Journey Media, and I tell Shaka to put up his shit. I'm talking to another brother now that does videos and movies and shit. We need to start building up a media space. We need to start writing books. We need to start putting stuff together so that because all it takes is one of us one of us to hit a vein, and we don't know how to tap that vein so that we could go and, in a sense, get some finances, not just finances, but some leverage that we could use to really start getting 2, 3, 4, 5 of us who really depends on the tribe, because it's like we want people to give what they really don't have. The reason Malcolm X was able to speak out, I mean, I don't think people really look at this. Malcolm was able to speak the way Malcolm was able to speak because Elijah Muhammad arranged for Malcolm to be able to speak that way. He was supported by a community. He was supported by a tribe that was able to finance the way he spoke. Motherfuckers think that Malcolm just was a motherfucker. Sometimes you be listening to people, and it's almost like Malcolm was just a motherfucker that just was out there on the street corner getting on a soapbox and speaking. No, the soapbox that he was speaking on was bought and protected by the Nation of Islam, which was a tribe of individuals that was willing to die if people were to lay their finger on him. Martin Luther King was able to do what he was able to do because he had a support system outside of corporate America, outside of everything, where he was able to do what he did. Marcus Garvey established a base of individuals, a community, a tribe, so that he would be able to speak out and have other people speak as well. And when we look at all the other people, go ahead.
Now, dig this, and I'm asking this because 10 years ago, when I made it over to Chicago, and you and I, we were in conversation when I was in Chicago. You understand what I was dealing with there. I remember standing outside of one of Kanye's properties, and we saw Jesse Jackson walking down the street. And one of the brothers said, there goes Jesse again. I'm like, Jesse who? That's Jesse Jackson. Get out. The Jesse Jackson? Yeah, that's Jesse Jackson. So I went to cross the street to meet Jesse Jackson. And the brother pulled my shirt and was like, man, don't do that. He just a regular nigga. Right?
I met Jesse Jackson too. So.
Now, with what Malcolm and Marcus and Martin had, what do you think it was that caused Jesse not to get that respect? I mean, this is the NAACP, man, the coalition of the Rainbow Coalition, man.
Right, Rainbow Coalition.
I you're saying that, man, because I wasn't even really going to say it because I didn't want to really come at the brother's neck. But when I met Jesse Jackson, I was at a power shift conference, what they called it, when I was doing community organizing heavy back in.
What you mean when you was? Stop saying that shit. This is the third time I heard.
I was doing community organizing for the League of Young Voters. I should have said.
Okay, say it like that, but it ain't no was. We never stopped. Go ahead.
Thank you for correcting that, though.
You just being nice to the old man.
I met him. I was with my brother in arms, man, in Atlanta, Oscar, man. We saw him. We went up to him and just, out of respect, like, hey, brother, what's up? Peace. I think we even invited to treat him to lunch just as, for some of his time. Sit down. He was like, nah, I'm on my way. I'm busy. I got things going on. So we just kind of chilled out. We was in a hotel in D.C. We was just in a hotel just chilling. So he went on his way. About 5 minutes later, not even that, a few minutes later, these young ladies came walking down, coming back from the direction that he was coming from.
Oh, my God.
And we knew him, you know what I'm saying? We had kind of interacted with him, so they came up to us and started talking. He was like, yeah, where y'all coming from? They was like, hey, man, we getting away from Jesse Jackson's creepy ass.
Wait a minute. Wait, stop.
He was busy trying to push up on some young females.
Hold on, stop.
Instead of Bill.
Hold on. Before you even said that, Terror House typed in our timeline, he was a hoe. This is before you even start talking. Now, see, because we got to understand, there was a different power dynamic coming out of the 50s and the 60s than in the 70s and the 80s, because shit went from people funded to, in a sense, corporate funded. When the churches turned corporate, when everybody was with the NAACP, because, you know, if you really look at Martin Luther King's history, because a lot of these niggas want to post shit up negative about Martin Luther King and how he was a pawn in the system and he worked for the federal. I mean, it's some bullshit out there. But if you really look at Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King was one of those pastors that was really funded because he had a congregation. They funded that shit, right? So you would hear about Martin having beef with Andrew Young, who was in charge of the NAACP. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where these motherfuckers was about to have a fist fight. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you know, so you know, we into corporate money now. And what we got to get back to is, in a sense, some of the community money now. And see, because what Malcolm didn't make a lot of money with the nation, if he made any money. But the nation was able to provide him with a house. Just like if you probably look at Martin's congregation was probably able to provide him with a house and the sustenance to support their house. You know what I'm saying? And we got to understand that if we really want to really start moving towards freedom, we have to start financing individuals that can actually really speak and not worry. I'm not worried about losing no goddamn. I'm not worried about no goddamn job. Fuck you.
Man, I ain't even gonna. There's so much shit I would say. It's so much. It's something that I can disclose about myself that is so fucking real. But
we got. But you got to exactly. And until we get to a point in understanding that we have to finance that. This is why we start in the marketplace. This is why we do the warrior training. This is why we do the daily toast, so that we can start building a small group of true people. I'm not looking for the million hits. I'm looking for the true individuals, because what starts to happen is that it might not be me. It don't even have to be me, but somebody in our circle will be able to rise up and be able to really start saying some of the shit, even though I say some crazy shit on this show. But somebody that could really say some shit that can't be affected by what's going on around us. And I know some people are like, you can't care about that. But them motherfuckers is typing that shit in up under a pseudonym that they're hiding their identity up under. You know what I'm saying? I know that ain't your real name, motherfucker. I know the game. You know what I'm saying? You know, so now getting back to the whole relationship piece. You know what I'm saying? Because relationships are what's key. And if you have a relationship with somebody, you need to learn to be careful with that, so that you can actually build from that. Y'all could build something. You know what I'm saying? And if you're receiving burnout, I have to ask you a question. Are you in a real relationship? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're going to get frustrated, but not burnt out. You know what I'm saying? Because I have motherfuckers that, in my life, and I shouldn't even call them motherfuckers, but I got people in my life that I have to determine, is it a real relationship? But then I will have something like this. Can I get? And then all of a sudden these people will pop up right at key points in my life. And I could be totally broke. And they could be totally broke. And they'll go right into their purse, or they go right into their pocket and say, here's this $20. Because I love you. I mean, they'll come around, and even if they can't give nothing, I love you and I believe in you. I'll be like, damn, it tears me up sometimes. I'll be like, damn, I've really been investing in your ass, right? Yeah, well, you know, I don't know if you're waiting for the next time I'm going to get some money, but thank you. I don't give a fuck. Because it's respect, responsibility, reciprocity. That's a true relationship for me. You know, as far as people in Gye-Nyame, that's what I'm trying to get people to understand, because we got to have that. See, because we don't practice reciprocity really in our community yet. We haven't really unleashed the true power of Mayat in our community as of yet. We talk about Mayat, but we have not unleashed the true power of Mayat. Because Mayat is Mayat, you know what I'm saying? Mayat is truth, justice, righteousness. So there's no reason why we should have artists like Eddie Baird or Shaka that are hungry. I ain't saying that Shaka hungry.
Reciprocity?
Huh?
I think it might be some people on the line that might not be familiar with that idea.
Reciprocity reciprocity is what goes around comes around. It's the process of when you pay in, there's something that comes out. There is a cycle in nature. Life is a cycle that goes round and round until the laws of Ma'at I'm bound. Reciprocity is a cycle that is formed. So when you here's a perfect example for those that don't understand reciprocity, right? When I go to the store and I give the merchant money and I'm able to walk out with the product, I gave him something, he gave me something, right? In spiritual terms, it's like if you do good, you're supposed to get good. If you do bad, you're supposed to have bad come back to you. All things have to be brought back to zero. There's a balance there. So in our relationships, we should be in a balance. Maya was represented by scales, but you can look at it like in that yin yang circle. I'm on top. When I'm on top, I'm receiving. When I'm on bottom, I'm giving. And if I'm in there with somebody, we're going in a cycle. And that's the same cycle that our dollars need to flow in. Right now, we're breaking the laws of Mayat in most aspects of our life because we're sending everything that we earn outside of ourselves. So in the way we spend.
I wish Aaron was on the line. Aaron was talking some shit. Man, I've been talking to Aaron a lot lately, man. Since I'm so glad he got on the line. He done added something that was so necessary to my thought process. And it's crazy because at first I was so opposed to what he had to say, but ever since the conversation shifted from what the earth looks like, more or less, which really ain't even all that relevant.
It ain't even that relevant. What's relevant is
electricity.
Right. Not only the electricity piece, see, because this is what you start to understand. This is why Kwame could get in on a line and just listen in to the brother talking about something that Kwame, through his understanding of the universe, because because I need people to understand, Brother Kwame is blind. So Brother Kwame is a mathematician. So Brother Kwame understands the universe and remembers it not through sight, but through the equations that have been left to us, the equations that's left in his mind. So he's able,
Man, one of my greatest teachers is blind.
Exactly. Same thing with musicians. You know what I'm saying? They live through the theories. They're able to see the world through the theories, and they're able to get proof that the theories work by what they are able to do with the theories. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you a perfect example, Tim. When I went through heartbreak, when I was in Columbus and I went through heartbreak, I would listen to who you think I was listening to? If you came over to my house, who was I listening to?
Probably Stevie Wonder.
Tevin Campbell.
Fuck Tevin. He was listening to Stevie Wonder.
I was
right. Was it Stevie Wonder?
Or Donny Hathaway.
Now
dig this. It's real important. It's real important that y'all grasp what I'm getting into, because I might lose sight right quick. But the piece is that Donny Hathaway lets you know that you ain't the only one that's been heartbroken before at the depths that you are heartbroken right now. But the thing is that a lot of times you get done listening to a Donny Hathaway song, he will leave you in a pit, right? Because, I used to listen to Giving Up. Man, after you listen to Giving Up, you just like, man, you feel like giving up. Once you listen to a Song for You, it puts you in that lonely place, like when you remember when y'all together, stuff like that. But the piece is that I needed Stevie Wonder because Stevie always spoke from a vein of solution.
But hold on. Can I say this, Shaka? Donny Hathaway died early. And if you listen to, like, when you gave me that CD where he was talking about what he wanted to do with music, Donny Hathaway left motherfuckers in there because he was going to come, and as he developed and as he grew as a musician and as an artist, he was going to come and pull you up out that pit. Stevie Wonder had the luxury of being able to go from down there to bringing your ass all the way up and out. I'm just saying.
Right. And I heard Coolio speak on it before about Stevie. He was like, because they worked together on the project Gangsta's Paradise, right? And so, Coolio's trying to explain the mind state of Stevie Wonder and saying, Stevie is blind, but all that means is that he sees the world in a way that we couldn't even conceive, and that's why he, as a messenger, is so important, because the things that he's talking about is timeless. You know what I mean? It's not circumstantial. It's no wonder why, like, when the World Trade Center, when that happened, when 9/11 happened, they called on Stevie Wonder to be able to bring a calm over the nation. And the song that he did was a song that he wrote in 1976 on the Songs of the Key and Light. So he ain't have to go write a new 9/11 song, because his solution was already branded.
It was
on
already
the year
there.
I was born.
Now check this out. Let me say this. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on to, because we got to move to the next proverb. Y'all, everybody that's, well, Quasi might not know because he didn't get to meet a lot of these. But I had two dudes in my crew that, very dedicated. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, because I couldn't necessarily provide them with a means of being able to be who they really were, like I'm able to do in many cases right now. I had two brothers that were blind in one eye. Now, this is the strangest shit. I had two dudes they became best friends, and both of them were blind.
I remember them.
Both of them were blind in one eye. And I had a conversation with both of them about what they saw with their blind eye. I want y'all really to, because I want y'all to go to the depth of what Shaka's trying to tell you. Stevie is blind. Stevie has been blind. I think Stevie was born blind. Am I correct?
You know what I heard? I heard it both ways.
He was blind the majority of his life. Let's just put it that way. He been wearing them black shades before almost everybody on this line was born. Let me say this to you. I asked one of my brothers when we were sitting down talking, and he was smoking weed. I ain't smoked weed for a very long time. He was smoking weed. I said, dude, what do you see out that eye? He said, Hatim, out of this, I don't see nothing. So what the fuck you mean nothing? I mean, you see black? He said, you're not listening to me. I don't see anything. Now, for those of you who not ready, that's just going to fly right over your head. For those of you who understand what I'm trying to say to you, is that he said he sees nothing. Absolutely, positively nothing. And some of y'all might think that you understand because you be like, that means you just see dark. He said, I don't even see dark. He said, Hatim, I know what dark is. That ain't what I see out that eye. And I want you to understand the depths at which Kwame has to see the universe. Kwame sees nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And the idea of nothing is so out there. You know what I'm saying? Because we think when we see an empty cookie jar, we're looking at nothing. But you're not looking at nothing. You're looking at an empty cookie jar. There's a difference when you talk about and you get to philosophical concepts and you really start thinking about, how do you see nothing? I see absolutely nothing. So Stevie is pulling creation. He is creating things from absolutely nothing. So when somebody in that condition actually starts to create, They are actually mimicking the process of God because he's bringing sounds from absolutely nothing into your reality. And he's able to create not just sounds, but he's able to create timeless sounds that, as Shaka just illustrated, he was able to recreate sounds that he created in 1976 that still rung and touched people's hearts after 911. That was over 30 years. Stevie Wonder is a timeless artist. Why? Because Stevie Wonder brings shit from absolutely nothing to something. A lot of us right now, because like even in hip hop, and I love hip hop, but hip hop is based on Sankofa, and Sankofa is going back to fetch it. Stevie ain't going back to fetch it. Stevie is pulling it from somewhere else.
But dig what's deep. What's so deep about that, Hot Tim, is that for a man who visualizes nothing, he creates a vision for a people who have sight, and a vision that is more detailed than most of us with sight can imagine. And that's what Coolio was saying. Those of us who think we see,
we don't really see
the way that Stevie sees. His craft is to make us see. The most that, listen, if you've ever experienced heartbreak, I'm gonna tell you the 3 major heartbreak songs that I go to Stevie and I listen to because it's healing to me now. Number 1, people didn't even know this was a heartbreak song because it's so beautiful. But the song Overjoyed is the biggest heartbreak song that Stevie ever wrote. That's number 1, Overjoyed. Number 2, Superwoman Part 2.
That's my shit.
All right, I like both of them, but Part 2 is the one that speaks to me. And number 3 is called Rocket Love. So
shut up! Not Rocket Love, dude. Hold on. I'm sorry. You taking me off. You pissing me off. Go ahead. Go. Rocket Love, not Rocket Love. Rocket Love. Hey, off of the song, off of the Happy Birthday, where we all sing Happy Birthday. Rocket Love come off the album. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Oh man. But the way he describes her, and oh man, so I mean his description, like for example, one of my favorite songs to sing when I meet a young lady is a Stevie Wonder song, and the whole song is about how he imagines the couple together. I see us in the park, strolling the summer days of imaginings in my head, and words from the heart, told only to the winds, still leaving without being said. But I don't want to bore you with my trouble. Yeah. There's so much love. You see what I'm saying? It's like
he didn't say yeah. You threw
like
the yeah in that shit. You threw the yeah in that shit. But go ahead.
Man, but even in that little stanza, do you see the picture?
Oh, I see the picture. He got to create.
Can you imagine that picture? Can you imagine that the person that
I
drew
experienced the picture, my friend. Fuck seeing it. I was there. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I did that. That's some shit. That's some shit that I do. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to bore you with it. I don't want to bore you with my troubles. You know what I'm saying? But,
right.
But hey,
yes,
now hold on.
Yes.
We got to get to the next family. Listen. So, let me read that one last time for you. The conversation don't have to stop here. Understand, when we do tribal quotes and we do folk tales for grown folks, that is just for that week. We have 7 days to discuss that. We have a whole timeline dedicated to you giving your insights. Some of y'all might wake up in the morning with insights. Some of y'all might share it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to write it. If you can record it and post it up on Gye-Nyame Journey, my only piece is, the only thing we ask you at Gye-Nyame Journey is to be able to think about the shit. I will put some insightful shit on it, right? Now, also, another requirement of Gye-Nyame Journey as we start growing, right? we got artists like Shaka on our timeline, right? And Shakas are the vanguards. And vanguards mean that they go out and scout the landscape before we go to battle. You understand what I'm saying? We need to support our vanguard. So we need to support our artists because they see this shit before we go. And he sings what I'm about to go and what I'm going to have to face. And in order for him to do that, he has to be able to eat. So where is his logistics? You know what I'm saying? Family, that's us. You know what I'm saying? We got to support our artists. Believe me, we got to support our artists. But Sister Cynthia said that we should go to number 2 afterwards. So I'm about to read number 2. I don't know who's still on the line. Lady J, you have been so quiet and so patient. So I want you to chime in on proverb number 2 first. And I know you're going to have something about proverb number 3. So go and drop that. But I'm going to give you a couple of minutes because I know you got to get it off. And, you know, so I need to know because y'all know Lady J is very passionate. And when she gets a hold of it, you know what I'm saying, we might have to cut her off. So I'm going to give her time. All right? So here we go. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. That not better not been Lady J that dropped off the line. You still there, Lady J? You ready? Lady J. See, now, this is what pissed me off. And it's not Lady J, but it's the fact that we have dedicated individuals that work with our children every day that may have to be doing something else to supplement their income. Right now, family, if you are listening, we have to go and make steps in education so that those individuals that are working in education never, listen, football players don't have to have no motherfucking second job. Beyonce's punk ass don't have to have a second job. Jay-Z's punk ass don't have to have a second job. And a lot of these other, you know, y'all, the local dope man, the weed man don't have to have no motherfucking second job. So there's no reason why motherfuckers that spend time with our children every day should have to ever pick up and do anything else. How the fuck do we expect for us to move to the next level when we got a group of individuals that sacrifice for our children every day and have to go out and do something else? She probably.
Well, I would like to speak on the proverb because it's exactly.
Well,
what
hold
you're
on.
saying.
Before you speak, I want to get Lady J. She on the line, but she might not be able to speak. So I got you, Lady J. I'm gonna give you a couple minutes at the end or whatever, and I'm gonna cut you off because I already know. Because once you get on it, it's all. But and Quasi is on the line as well. So Shaka, go ahead. You go first. Do I need to read it again for the people?
No, I got it. And I'll give you a prime example, Tim. 10 years ago when I came into Cleveland culture and I saw where the artist community was, the artist community in Cleveland is not like it is in Columbus. It's not together like that. We don't band together. We don't make moves for each other for the greater good.
Hey, y'all got some of the dopest artists in Ohio in Cleveland.
No.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the artist culture, Quasi. The artist culture, like you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all got some legends up there. Though. I was just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of sad,
right.
But I do got some legends.
And
up
so
there.
the fact that we are all separate and in totally different conversation, you right. So that's what I saw. I saw we got some beasts here. We got some beasts. Like I brought when I was living in Columbus, I brought Suave Gotti from Cleveland because there wasn't nobody in Columbus who could facilitate a workshop the way that he could. And rhyme the way he could, like off the top of his dome. So the piece is
You
that
want me to rhyme right now? I'm offended that I'm going to rhyme right now. You better not say something.
I mean, listen. The cat in the hat stuff, that's
like
different. That's different level. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
I make people take a bow. Shaka, you better go and apologize now.
So
Why you got a chance?
I went back to my old school. I went to Cleveland School of Art, and when I grew up in that, well, I didn't grow up in the school. I went there for high school. You had
That's
people
growing up,
who
brother.
were dedicated. You had people who were dedicated to what they were there for. If you were a visual artist, we had the dopest visual artist that was dedicated to teaching. We had the dopest choir director that was dedicated to teaching. We had the dopest band leader, the whole nine. When I came back into the fold, I wanted to do my program at Cleveland School of the Arts. Come to find out, there was not one full-time employee there.
Shut
That means
up.
that you had part-time specialists. You had people who were part-time and teaching art and teaching dance and teaching all these disciplines, and so they were not as available as those full-time people.
Right.
And it makes a great impact on the culture, and that's why I see that the young folks coming up.
Aha! That's what I'm saying, Shaka. Listen, think about this. Think about John Coltrane with a part-time job. Exactly. Silence. You know what I'm saying? I'm because so many geniuses. Even just in Ohio, if we just was to just the Midwest, we got so many geniuses, right? That's sitting here that can't really do what they was born to do. See, in capitalism, it forces us to do what we have to do. But in our original culture, we was able to be groomed and move into what we were born to do. There's a difference from doing what you have to do to survive and doing what you was born to do. You have individuals who were born to blow horns and play keyboards and sing on mics. You know what I'm saying? Or sing, period. And you have individuals whose hands was designed to get into places where other people's fingers can't get into and do miraculous things with stone and wood and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And when you can't express that, you don't get to move towards the God level.
Right. Now, and let me say the punchline that ties right back into the proverb, Tim.
Punch it.
That if I saw the Cleveland culture as it was and felt like, well, they don't need me, then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. But I know that they need me. I know, well, put it like this. I've seen thriving artist cultures in different cities. And for me to have that vision of that and my understanding of what Cleveland is, then I feel like I am that catalyst to make to make this thing that I see is dysfunctional, functional. Not functional again, functional. Because Cleveland has a very, we have a long story when it comes to our artists. Even when you go back to Gerald Levert and the OJs. And,
Did you say something about Langston Hughes? Before you had men at law.
Huh?
Didn't you say something about Langston Hughes? Was it
Langston Hughes went to school at Central High, the same building that I wanted to acquisition last year. So it's a historical high school just sitting in the middle of Cleveland doing nothing right now.
Let me say that in Columbus, maybe not as far back as Langston Hughes, but Columbus produced Rashawn Roland Kirk. And if you think Elijah Pierce. If you think John Coltrane is cold, because a lot of y'all, as you come into your consciousness, John Coltrane is a touchstone for a lot of people in consciousness. If you think John Coltrane is cold, y'all need to check out the blind dude that played 3 saxes at one time. 3 saxes and a nose horn. God damn it. I'm just saying. John Coltrane played 1. This dude played 3 saxes and a nose horn at the same time. God damn it, Midwest, stand up. I mean, every time I eat, everywhere I took, and this is what's crazy. And I just need people to know this, not offending anybody anywhere else. On the East Coast or West Coast, I know y'all very sensitive. Y'all got big egos and shit. But everywhere I took my kids, everywhere I took my children, everywhere I took my sons, them niggas dominate. Period. Dominate. I dominated 17 with grown motherfuckers in the motherfucking military. Everywhere I take them. That's why I be telling them, stand up. You know what I'm saying? Family, Midwest, it's something special about where we are. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I need to know because I can't listen to rap no more because I got introduced to Spirit and I started doing my own shit. I can't listen to R&B no more because Shaka fucked me up with his little love song about going around a merry-go-round or some shit like that. I can't listen to saxophone players no more because I done heard Eddie Bear. I can't listen to motherfuckers. I went to Africa where motherfuckers was doing a ceremony for us and they doing drums and I'm sitting up here judging the drums in the middle of a ceremony like you motherfuckers is off rhythm. Because I live with Allende West and I got, you know what I'm saying, and I know Elder Tony West playing drums. Everywhere I go and everything I do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I go to motherfuckers that supposedly conscious and I'm like, nigga, I sat at the feet of Normal X. I hear what y'all saying, but you motherfuckers is behind. Shut up. I ain't got time for that bullshit. I'm about to roll. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then we move in the world with a subconscious block because we're from where other people call a cow town or we're from the Midwest, so shit ain't happening. Y'all we Midwest, you know how the world is waiting for American black people to wake up? I think American black people is waiting for Midwest black people to wake the fuck up. Y'all don't even know what y'all got. We need to start moving and being not arrogant, but being confident in what we have.
You know what we got?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We got?
Go ahead.
We got all of the fresh water. We got more fresh water than anywhere else in the world. Or as much as anywhere else in the world. We got the Great Lake. We got 5 big, stupid, big, dull-ass lakes.
Sitting there.
Some of the best water you can get in the world is in Lake Michigan.
And don't forget Ohio Lake. Well, don't we have Ohio Lake or some shit like that?
Lake Erie.
Lake Erie. I mean, not only that, but we got some of the best talent. See, this is what people don't realize. Motherfuckers be coming to the Midwest and stealing shit. Like, for example, I'm going to give y'all an example, and this is a small example, and I know some people going to argue this shit, right? I had a brother that I went to college with by the name of Dame Lee. Dame Lee started walking around Ohio State campus with a Band-Aid up under his eye. And this motherfucker was one of the best, he still is one of the best freestylers that I know. He started walking with a Band-Aid up under his eye and he started traveling. Then all of a sudden a nigga out of the West, not necessarily Midwest, comes out by the name of Nelly and his symbol is under the eye Band-Aid. And every time I see a kid with that shit, I let them know where that shit come from. Because I already know these motherfuckers be robbing us. I already know that shit. You know what I'm saying? I already, you know what I'm saying? Because, some of the niggas on the East Coast get mad. I already know where Busta Rhymes come from. I know. You know why? Because that nigga got shot in the face just like me. And he lives in Central Ohio. I know where a lot of these motherfuckers come from. I know where a lot of these motherfuckers or at least the motherfuckers that they robbed come from. I already know. And it's right here in the Midwest. Y'all family, we need to stand up. The spirituality in other places, the only thing they got on us is that they got more people and they able to say they got temples and shit. Y'all need to understand, these motherfuckers are faking you out. I go to places and have discussion with motherfuckers and find out that they don't know shit. They ain't got nothing.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm listening to you, and in the back of my mind, I'm reading like I'm going. Okay, powerhouse. Powerhouse is what we need to build to be able to produce at maximum capacity, right? So you look at what it takes to build a powerhouse, and those who, and I know this is kind of like left field, but in tribe building, you look at where Missy Elliott came from. Missy Elliott came out of a tribe of a powerhouse that was developed by Devontae Swing. Now, Devontae Swing from Jodeci, he had a way that he dealt with people that he brought into his powerhouse. They had to be kind of separate from the rest of society to be able to thrive and to be able to build and to be able to produce the way that he needed them so that they maintained his powerhouse. There's a lot of us that will, just like Missy Elliott did, get out because they do not want to be dominated or controlled. But she didn't do that at first. She waited until she got her weight up, and then she bounced. Same thing with people that with out on the West Coast, producing with some of these other big time producers. They have a powerhouse situated just the same way.
But hold on.
I've heard stories.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You already know who.
I do.
Who?
I do.
Well, hold on. Who fills up these powerhouses? Because they try to get you in one. We already know somebody that might still be part of one of those powerhouses and probably got some shit out there that we don't even know about. We already know where they get all of the brain power and all the creative force from that. Not trying to separate black folks. But what I'm saying is, Midwest, Ohio, stand the fuck up. That's all I'm saying. Because I ain't been nowhere where nobody could compete with anything that we have been doing. Nowhere. Speaking to motherfuckers on all levels from where we are. Dude, I'm just trying to tell you, man. I mean, you motherfuckers don't even understand. Like for example, if we look at even, because I'm gonna even go this deep. What's the woman movement called? The woman movement that's real big right now. They doing a woman march. They just did a woman march in Washington D.C.
What's it called? Us Too or
Well, anyway, I'm gonna skip past that because some ladies out there know that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere that we go, Midwest, everywhere that we go, right? We run the security. We run let me just put it this way. I'm going to speak for myself. I can't speak for all the shit that's going on out there. But everywhere I go, I rise to the top. Period. And when I send my sons, as ghetto as they were, they rise to the motherfucking top. They go to motherfucking places that's inculcated with gang culture and shit like that. And they rise to the motherfucking top. And all I'm saying is, Midwest, the world is waiting for us. They waiting. We sleeping. We scared. I don't know what the fuck it is. But we got the most people. We got the most swag. All the shit that you see motherfuckers doing on other coasts, they be copying us. That's what's fucked up because we think that we're copying them. But I'm trying to tell y'all, it's not even like that. Motherfuckers get on here and hate. I don't give a fuck. Because I'm 50, I ain't got time to be. I want my kids to understand that they come from the place that originates all this shit. If we look, because if we go deeper, we'll find that the East Coast whole piece, the beats and shit that they was using in Sankofa was coming back to us. But we could look at the West Coast and we already know that all they shit come from us. The whole East Coast shit was built on the niggas from the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
But those people that understand music understand that. But y'all sitting up here thinking that these niggas from New York and these niggas from these big cities and shit. Come on, man. Y'all stop humbling yourself to motherfuckers that are narcissistic, and start understanding and moving in your mastery, and start supporting our artists. I mean, Sid is having his unfortunately, it's on the same day that Sister Navita's having her shit, but I gotta support my sister. But Sid is having his shit, and this shit, listen, I'm gonna say this, and I'm done. Shaq, I'm done with this. My uncle is one of the original. What's that poetry group that started all this shit? I'm slipping. I'm tired.
The Last Poet.
Last Poets. My uncle is the last poet. He wasn't born in New York. He moved to New York from Akron. And one of the most famous poems that kind of sparked a lot of this shit, he wrote not about what was going on in New York or what was going on in California. He wrote about a riot that happened in Akron, and it's called "Niggas Are Scared of Revolution." Now, motherfuckers can act like they don't know what the fuck they talking about. I got the interview. I interviewed him. I know. This is my uncle. I ran into him, and he let me know that he was my uncle. I didn't even know. I get bothered. You know what I'm saying? Because my kids be trying to act like they from New York, and they try to act like they from out west and shit, when in fact, we have influenced both of those cultures, or we influenced hip-hop more than anybody want to give us credit for. And we sit up here and we be quiet about the shit. That's not fair to us, and that's not fair to our children. The world is waiting for us to stand up. And then I got this brother Shaka that's sitting up here creating shit creating shit like it ain't nothing. And we got all these artists around us, and we ain't even supporting them. And they the vanguard. We say they the vanguards of the revolution, but we won't even support them. We'll go out and we're about legend shit. And matter of fact, John Legend, where he from?
Springfield.
Even the rapist, R. Kelly, where he from?
The Shy.
Midwest. That motherfucker, you can hate him right now, but you know, a lot of you motherfuckers out there hating on that pedophilia motherfucker right now, that y'all calling him all these names, you were probably made on the R. Kelly song. I'm just saying.
But a little bit more about that. A little bit more about his history. Listen, the school that I went to, Cleveland School of the Arts, bred this young man. Y'all can Google this man's name right now. His name is Lafayette Carson. Lafayette was playing piano better than a piano teacher before his feet could even touch the pedals. All right. Now, when he graduated from high school, he went on into gospel music. Actually, was with the Winans. He was playing piano for the Winans. And the Winans, I don't know if y'all remember, had a Christmas special back in the day. Must have been around like 1990. Between 90 and 92, the Winans had a Christmas special. R. Kelly in a public announcement was supposed to be featured there. But the thing is that R. Kelly, like a lot of lead singers do, was ego tripping. So the rest of his band was like, man, you know what? Fuck this kid. Let him do it by himself then. You hear what I'm saying?
And he did. My mind's telling me no. But Jesus. But Jesus.
You're playing,
telling me yes.
You're playing, but check this out. So check it out. Lafayette ends up playing piano to the song that the public announcement was supposed to do. Remember they had that hit called Vibe? Mm-hmm. Vibe, you got that vibe. You got that vibe. Now, that song, on that performance, the brothers, BB Winans, and all of those cats, they put on cross-color hoodies so nobody could tell that they fat asses wasn't the public announcement. And they was in the background, behind the piano, acting like the public announcement, and R. Kelly singing. R. Kelly turned around, he was like, you know what, Talaf, we gotta work together now. And Lafayette became the producer of the whole album, 12 Play, R. Kelly's first album. Now,
wait a minute,
again,
stop it.
That came straight out of church.
Stop it. Hold on.
Go ahead.
12 Play, for some of you young motherfuckers, was the album that you was made on. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If it wasn't for 12 Play, yo, see, R. Kelly kicked the game that your daddy couldn't kick. I'm just saying. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? So go and put him in jail. Go and persecute him. But a lot of you motherfuckers that screaming, you hate R. Kelly, you were born, you were created from 12 Play. I'm just saying. But go ahead.
Hey, so, I mean, but you got to understand, man, that, you know, a lot of that church energy was flipped on that album into straight sexuality.
Hold on. Church. But hold on. Stop.
The message came straight from a sermon.
Stop.
A sermon about temptation.
Stop. I gotta stop. Sex is built on sexuality. Disguised sexuality. A lot of y'all don't recognize that. See, the Holy Ghost.
Say that again.
Sex is built on sexuality. And I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear this. Go on and take this image. I'm about to lose my job. That's cool. Let me say to you, listen. Church is built upon sexuality or repressed sexuality. The Holy Ghost is an orgasm. A lot of y'all don't want to deal with that shit. But that's what it is. You heard it here on Tribal Quotes.
I mean, you know what? I hear what you're saying, Hatem, and it's very consistent with my point. Because, you know, when you hear a preacher go all the way in,
he busting a nut.
You gonna hear?
He busting a nut. The pastor is busting a nut when he go all the way in.
Listen to what he's saying. Listen to the words. R. Kelly said it straight on the album, just the way that a preacher would. My mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah. That is temptation. That's a sermon about temptation.
But a lot of people don't want to accept that. I ain't gonna say they don't know, because you can't know that when a woman is rolling on the goddamn floor what she's going through. You don't understand. You want to act like you don't see that shit. But I'm gonna let you go on and exist in illusion, right? When we start not looking at what reality is, we're operating outside of Maya. You know what I'm saying? That's some deep repressed sexual shit. When a pastor could get motherfuckers screaming, yeah, and then we don't have to stop with R. Kelly. Let's go to the sexuality of Prince. God damn it. Prince, a lot of his albums are based on sermons. Come on, man. Now I ain't not.
Wait, time out. Because I don't know if y'all even know this about wait, what song is it? Let's Go Crazy.
Don't he start that shit with a sermon?
Not only do we start it with a sermon, but the whole song is shouting music. When you look in the Bible, when they use that word Selah, look up that word Selah and tell me what it means. But the piece is that's exactly, because Prince came up in a time where you couldn't say God or the devil on the radio. So you know what he did? He flipped it so that in Let's Go Crazy, first of all, if you ever been to a Pentecostal church or one of those deep churches where they shout at and they play the shouting music, what's the prominent part of the shouting music? Is the bass line going a bing 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 ding 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 baby ding 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 ding. Let's go crazy.
Let's go nuts.
That is. Do you hear it?
Yeah, I hear it. Dude, listen. You ain't doing it for me. But, we got to be concerned about the people in there because, they'll block this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole piece is, if you want to create something new, you got to be involved with sexual energy. Period. Having a brand new idea is giving birth to having a good concept is giving birth to a new idea, which means that part of your brain, masculine and feminine, came together. They did their thing and gave birth to something. Come on, family. I'm just trying to be like, this is why I call it Tribal Quotes. and I have it at 9 o'clock, and this is why I have it called Folk Tale for Grown Folks. This is grown folk talk. You know what I'm saying? Because hopefully y'all mature enough to deal with it, deal with the responsibility, deal with the reality. But me and you, we done took the conversation. People that dropped off, and we going a little bit too late. So our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Family, you have to talk about things that really, really matter to you and matter to us as a people. Basically. But Shaka, go and bring it around, and I want to at least look at this last one because I think this is an important one that we need to look at because I got to get up in the morning. I got still iron. We still got to do the daily toast because we're going to do the daily toast. So the daily toasters, y'all need to just hang on in there because y'all know I'm serious about my shit. I'm not playing with y'all. This whole piece that we doing, whether, because Shaka coming on the even, we got Quasi coming in, we got Lady J, we got Brother Kwame, you know what I'm saying? The whole piece is, we got a movement going on, family, and y'all need to go on and participate. Not for Hatim's sake, but for your own issue, for your own sake. If you got ancestors, you need to go and add them to the list. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole piece is they are what get me and keep me motivated. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me say this. You don't add your ancestors to the list, it's cool. Because I got enough ancestors to keep me motivated from here until 2035. I don't know, But Shaka, you got something else to say before I move to the next one? So let me read it. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Martin Luther King Jr.
We did that one.
I know we did it. I just wanted to make sure you had something. Do you got anything else to say about it?
Oh, no. I think we've driven the point, man. At least tonight. If I come back on the next show,
no, you come back. You come back on the call because we're going to call on Kauma morning and Imani morning, so it'll be toast and talk. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We go a little bit deeper. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you understand the music a little. You understand the music a lot more than I do, because a lot of those rhythms that people don't understand come straight from gospel. Because you know what I'm saying? It's like there's no gospel music, there's no R&B, there's no hip hop, there's just music. And individuals understand that there's been certain chords that can move people in certain ways all the time. You know what I'm saying? You got war music, you got love music, and you got worship music. You know what I'm saying? Not even those aren't even different groups, but you got let me put this, you got music that can move people to make love, you got music that can move people to worship, and you got music that can move people for anything. And a skilled musician knows what key to push to get the emotional response that they want. And if I'm wrong, you're a musician, correct me.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I think that the one thing we have to be mindful of as artists and as composers is that we live in a day and age where the soul is being taken out of soul music. You listen to R&B today, it's not like what came out in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s or the 60s. It's been sterilized of that true soul element. Like, I feel like your R. Kellys were really the last of that breed. When we go into what they're doing right now, they chanting over a very mechanical beat. Like, right. Trap music is set on a very mechanical piece. Like, they're like a drummer cannot reproduce verbatim a trap beat. It's all based on 30 seconds and 16.
Right.
Right.
Now Shaka now when I first met Shaka did a workshop where he distinguished the where he went into a discussion about loops and music that goes in loops. And the difference between that and what was considered classical music. and he used a loop, and he used a spiral to kind of, and that's something that y'all could bring Shaka in to discuss. But that, I was listening to that shit, and I'm like, oh, that shit is deep because they got us going in loops. If you want to keep people trapped, get them going in loops. It's just a constant loop. There's no change in the loop, and what he means is that a drummer can't reproduce the loops that a drum machine can constantly do consistently over a period of time. You know what I'm saying? It's a boring. I mean, I don't even want to do that shit. If you had to repeat some shit over and over again, you don't want to play that shit if you're a skilled musician. You know what I'm saying? Where my motherfucking solo? You know what I'm saying? But hold on.
So here's the piece, though, is that you take the hottest trap beat out there right now. And you have me, Allende, and Eddie just flow. With that, we will bring life into the machine. And that, I've just like you studied, you feel the energy that Allende brings. You feel the energy that Eddie brings. Now imagine if we guided that free form energy into the ears of those who only know the trap element. And what we're doing is downloading and expanding their mindset to be able to receive something beyond the mechanics of what's being fed to them. Because that's what's happening in trap music and in this society, period. We're being dumbed down so we can be spoon-fed our however it is that you know.
I don't think we're being dumbed down so we can be spoon-fed. I think we're being dumbed down so that we can be fed to somebody. I'm just saying. Y'all need to be careful. It's possible we're being dumbed down so that, cattle is dumb. They called it, and I want y'all to always remember, they called it chattel slavery. C for cattle, H for human. I understand chattel means something that could be moved, but I just want y'all to be clear about that shit. Chattel, that shit sounds too close to cattle with a human in there and shit. You know what I'm saying? So last one. A gem is not polished without rubbing, nor a man perfected without trials. And we're gonna leave that one, Shaka. I'm gonna let you close out on any words of wisdom that you have for the family. And then I'm just gonna close out, and we're gonna call it a night because we almost at 2 hours on work night. My mind's telling me no.
No. We are not closing out on R. Kelly. Oh man. Here's where my heart is at right now, and it's a reprise of what we heard earlier this week. But this is something that I wrote specifically for this movement. So here we go. I say, if we stand on our ancestors' shoulders, they told us the road less traveled is the coldest. Yo, we soldiers. The bitterest of winds couldn't hold us. They thought they broke us. It's bogus. But brethren to the back, stay focused. Them spread plague fierce like locusts. And all my smokers, cigarette smoke, no jokers. Them found a new way to choke us. Attention, soldier, we gotta make them fear they spoke us. Lynch like the willie that sold us. Mystery unfold I shine. Where my people at? Make some noise for the movement. Feel the rhythm of the music we groove with. Now pay attention to the words I say. I go.
I may.
I go.
I may.
Where my people at? Make some noise for the movement. Feel the rhythm of the music. Feel the rhythm of the music we groove with. The words I say. I go.
I may.
I go.
I may.
I want to thank God for the gift that He grants to me to break down things so you can see the truth, the light with all my soul. From funk, jazz and rock and roll. Miss say wicked man rule, what's overdue? A revolution you and I may come true. We all born sinner and we won't break free until we overcome hypocrisy. So stop pointing finger, reach to the sky, listen to the message, hold your head high, say na 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 na.
Nah, 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 nah.
We need to stop speculating and move into action. The war isn't waiting, this is getting disastrous. Time to change the way we think, what we say, what we do, strategize, find the tools to build and execute. We are the ones that's chosen. The enemy is closing. They got the masses hypnotized. It's time for us to open their eyes. A word from the wise. Never catch your pearls among swine. It's just a waste of time, 'cause they can't see you shine when you walk amongst the blind. Even when you reflect divine. Word from the wise. Never catch your pearls among swine. It's just a waste of time, 'cause they can't see you shine when you walk amongst the blind. Even when you reflect divine.
All right, family, I need to remind you, you are now part of the congregation of the mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Anime from down here, baby. Damn. This is a Heart of a Simple production. This is Tribal Quotes. I want to thank you all for joining us. And of course, you know this is a Heart of a Simple production. Tomorrow's about to pop you in your head. Well, we strive to blow up your old paradigms. I will see you in the morning. 5:15 and 5:30, family. Like and share. Peace. I'm going.
Peace.